Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shirtaha Palakamadam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vishwahanu Sudevi Paramami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhobhyevacha Pavitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you all to the third day of the seminar on the Ramayana. In the 70s and 80s, when this whole new Vrindavan community was happening, Chandramauli Maharaj and many of the sannyasis who were at that point of time, they used to do an unlimited amount of physical work, And there was one devotee who was giving a class, he was giving a Bhagavatam class, and he was so exhausted that while giving the class he went to sleep. I hope that doesn't happen to me. But I'm speaking about Hanumanji, so probably I might get some strength and speak a little bit. So today we're going to speak about the life of Hanuman and how that life, how Hanuman's stories are so very relevant to our personal lives. Before I really speak about Hanuman, I would like to speak a very important and interesting verse from the Ram Raksha Stotra. This verse is a very instructive verse. This verse says, Bharjanam bhava bijanam, arjanam sukha sampadam, tarjanam yamudutanam, rama rameti garjanam. This verse says there are three effects or three results of chanting Lord Ram's names and describing Lord Ram's glories. Rama rameti garjanam. The word Ram means Ram's names, and Rameti essentially talks about Ram's glories or Ram's pastimes. Rama rameti garjanam means, the word garjanam means roaring, loudly chanting. So what happens when you do that? Three things happen. Bharjanam bhava bijanam. The first thing that happens is the seed of material existence, bhava bij. Bharjanam means it gets roasted. So when a seed gets roasted, essentially what it means is that it just doesn't grow. That means your material cycle of birth and death gets destroyed. The second thing is arjanam sukha sampadam. You acquire or prosperity and happiness comes into your life. And tarjanam yamudutanam. The Tarjanam essentially means the Yamudutas stay away from you. So anybody who chants the holy names of the Lord, of Lord Ram, and discusses the glories of Ram, that's what happens to them. Hanumanji is one such person whose life, whose stories, and whose activities cannot be disconnected from Lord Ram's activities. In fact, where Hanuman is, Lord Ram is there, and where Lord Ram is there, Hanuman has to be there. So today we're going to discuss Hanumanji's stories. Some of these stories are, I often say when we speak about Hanumanji, Hanuman is the original superhero. You know, in today's time where there is Iron Man and Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, this is the original superhero is Hanuman. You know. So unfortunately we lost the stories of Hanuman and we lost disconnect with the original superhero, and therefore we need to find superheroes who don't last too long. And then the desire is there for a newer person. But when we really understand Hanuman's personality very well, I was saying that the Vedic stories, they have three levels of what they give us. One is the Vedic tales, they give us entertainment. The stories that I'm going to discuss today, some of Hanumanji's stories, probably some of the most entertaining stories that you can ever hear. Exciting entertainment. But along with entertainment, Hanumanji's stories also provide enlightenment. So if you study or if you read Ninja Turtles or if you read, Batman and Spider-Man and Superman and all these novels, there's nothing much to actually learn from it. Nothing much that you can actually take away from it. Yes, you do get entertained, but I don't know if you really get enlightened. Hanumanji's story is not just entertain us, but also enlighten us. So, the first story of Hanumanji that I would like to share with you all is a very interesting story about Hanumanji's childhood. I'm not going to get into chronological stories of practically every aspect of Hanumanji's life. I'm just going to keep it very inspirational and spontaneous. So whatever comes. So when Hanumanji was a small child, his mother, Anjana, she had kept him on her lap. At a certain point, she had to attend to something and she kept Hanumanji down and she went away. So this was on a mountain cave in Kishkinda, and the mountain cave was jutting out. Today, if you go to Kishkinda, which is in Hampi in India, you still find that cave there. There is a particular way to go to that cave. You can't go to the cave from below. You have to go from top. Some of us, we explored that cave and found that cave. It's about a 2-3 hour trek. If some of you all are interested, I can take you all to that cave. To go to that cave, you have to really go through tunnels. You have to crawl and jump, and it's a really adventurous thing. Around Hanumanji is only adventure, and you can't find non-excitement around Hanumanji. So Hanumanji was in this cave, and his mother left him and went away. And Hanumanji was a hungry child, all the time hungry. And his mother had told him that, if you feel hungry, you should eat the red fruit. And Hanumanji looked up and he saw the sun. And he thought the sun was a red fruit. So he jumped up towards the sun. And interestingly, as Hanumanji flew up towards the sun, is going higher and higher and higher. The grahas, before you reach the Surya, the sun planet, there are many grahas that come in between. And when these planets were coming in between, and Hanumanji, the speed at which he was moving, these planets got completely bewildered. Who is this new planet coming in? So they actually shifted aside to allow Hanumanji free access to the sun. So Hanumanji reached the sun, he caught the sun, thinking it was a big red fruit, and put it in his mouth. Exactly at that time when Hanumanji was eating the sun, exactly at that time there was supposed to be Surya Grahan. Rahu was coming to eat the sun. When he reached the place where the sun is missing. And Hanumanji was standing over there, So Rahu got bewildered. And when Hanumanji saw Rahu, so he thought this is a black ball, let me eat this also. He caught Rahu and put Rahu also in his mouth. Can you imagine? In the mouth of Hanumanji is Rahu and Chandra and Surya. There was a darkness all over. The demigods are completely bewildered. Where is the sun? Because the source of light to the whole universe is practically the sun, and the sun is missing. So they went to Indra and complained that sun has gone missing. Indra said, where can the sun go? It's not like some small thing that it goes missing somewhere. So Indra said, so the demigods told him, there's a monkey that has come and eaten up the sun. Indra, he was so wild. He got up on his elephant, Airavat, and went running towards where Hanumanji was. And when he saw Hanumanji sitting over there, looking around for more fruits to eat, that's when Indra arrived. And when Indra came over there, Indra was sitting on this white elephant. Hanumanji thought that was also white fruit. He jumped on Airavat to catch him. So Indra, out of fear, he just threw his thunderbolt and which hit the chin of Hanumanji. And the chin of Hanumanji broke. In Sanskrit, the chin is called as Hanu. From that point onwards, Hanumanji got the name Hanuman, the one whose chin is broken. So till that point of time, Hanuman had his mother gave him the name Sundar. That is one of the reasons why the Sundarkand of the Ramayana is named as Sundarkand. There are 3 reasons. One is because his mother named him as Sundar. The Sundarkand is also known as Sundarkand because the Sundarkand describes the beauty of Lord Ram's personality. Hanumanji describes Ram's beauty to Sita. And Sundarkand is also known as Sundarkand because it talks about the beauty of Mother Sita's personality, character. And it is also known as Sundarkand. Yes? See, Marut is so there's a different, the reason Maruti is because of his connection with the Maruts. There is a different, he had multiple names basically. Sundar was one of the names, Maruti was one of the names, Bajrangi was one of the names, and here Hanuman is one of the names. So it had multiple names basically. What was I saying? Yeah, so the 4th reason why it is also called Sundarkand is because the whole story, the whole book describes Hanumanji's personality. We will see as we go ahead today. So when Hanumanji was sit on his chin, he fell unconscious and he fell downwards, and his father Vayu caught him and he brought him into a cave, the unconscious child. And Vayu was so upset that his child was hurt that he withdrew all the air from the universe. And practically, people are not able to breathe. So the demigods began to panic. They ran to Lord Brahma along with Indra and they said, please save us. Brahmaji said there's only one way we can save the universe, is provided we go and bless this small child, revive the small child and give him profuse blessings and please Vayu. So all the demigods went down now to where the cave was, where Hanumanji was lying down. And each demigod began to give profuse blessings to Hanumanji. Lord Brahma touched Hanumanji and revived him. He gave him the blessings that no one can kill him and the laws of the universe won't affect him at all. Brahmaji also gave him the blessings of knowledge. Surya, he gave him immunity from fire. Surya also gave him, he also told him that when time comes, I will teach you the Vedas. Then Vishwakarma gave him intelligence and creativity, which he uses very well throughout his life. Then Dhanvantari gave him the healing touch. So each of the demigods started giving him different blessings and benedictions. And when these blessings started accumulating in Hanumanji started smiling. He was becoming more and more powerful now. And finally, Brahmaji gave him a blessing that was the most important blessing. Brahmaji offered him a diamond necklace. And he told Hanumanji that this diamond necklace will be invisible to the world. The only person who will be able to recognize this diamond necklace is your master. And the day somebody recognizes this diamond necklace, you should know that person is your master and should surrender unto him. So that diamond necklace was the most precious thing that Hanumanji received that day. After that, all the demigods, they went away. And Hanumanji became a restless, wild, intense monkey child. And the restlessness of Hanumanji manifested in the form of his naughty pranks. Children, when they are intelligent, they actually become very restless because nobody can contain them in a box. They just don't know how to use their strengths, they just don't know how to use their intelligence, they just don't know how to use their abilities. Till someone comes into their life who can teach them. Hanumanji had no one to teach him, so he was just wild. So Hanumanji, he would harass the stories, harass the sages to the limit. Because they were soft targets, The sages were just simple people, is just hanging around. So Hanumanji would go, and when the sages would have bath in the river, Hanumanji would jump into the river, and from below the river he would pull their legs as they're doing Gayatri, And then sometimes he would go and pull their beards. Sometimes Hanumanji would take their cloth and hang it on top of a tree. And they would come out, they would find no clothes there. Hanumanji was doing all kinds of weird things with these sages. One day he did something that was the most naughtiest thing that Hanumanji did. What he did essentially was, there was a particular sage who was residing in a small hermitage. Early in the morning, Hanumanji did some funny things and he went and hid. So when the sage opened the door of his hermitage to answer nature's call, in those times there wouldn't be bathrooms inside the house, they would have to go out. So when the sage was going out to answer nature's call, just when he stepped out, outside his house there was a tiger tied up, roaring loudly. The sage got bewildered, who can tie up a tiger outside his house? You tie up dogs, you don't tie up tigers. So the sage got bewildered and he ran inside, And then he tried to get out from the back door. And when he got out of the back door, there was a wild elephant tied up over there. So the sage was totally bewildered. First, initially, nature was calling. And then nature started screaming, And then nature started howling. And nature was yelling. And the sage was frustrated. He had nowhere to get out, And then when he saw from the window, he saw Hanumanji was rolling on the ground and laughing like anything, So that day, this sage, he realized, if I don't do something to Hanumanji, this child is going to get really wild. He actually cursed Hanumanji that he'll forget all this knowledge, all his strengths, till somebody reminds him. Essentially, Hanumanji's restlessness was a strength, was an indication of him wanting to do so much. But unfortunately in life, you don't always get to use your intelligence to the best capacity till you find somebody who can channelize your intelligence. Many times, when God gives us intelligence, He also gives us somebody who can use our intelligence properly. We find in the life of Hanumanji, at this point of time, because he didn't have the person who could use his intelligence in the right way, the strengths were taken away. And then Hanumanji instantly became a sober child. He walked back home that day. When Keshari and Anjana saw Hanumanji walking back home, they were bewildered. Because Hanuman never walked back home. He would jump from window and from some tree and he would fly back home. He would never walk back home. Hanumanji came back to Keshari, his father, and he said that, I want to study. So his father was bewildered. Where did this whole new phenomena come from? I want to study, he's saying, So then Keshari, he said, we'll find a good teacher. So the best teacher at that point of time was Surya Dev, who used to have a school. And Surya Dev's school was a very interesting school. It was a flying school. Surya would teach on his chariot. Sun's chariot was huge. And it could accommodate about 60,000 sages at one time. So when Hanumanji went to Surya Dev to ask him to teach him knowledge, Vedic knowledge, Surya Dev said, I have no problem in teaching you, but the problem is there is no place. Admission is full. Surya Dev's international school. No admissions. Hanumanji said, I have no problem. I don't want a seat. I just want your permission to learn. Hanumanji was not bothered about comforts. He was not bothered about facilities. He was eager to learn. Today, most kids, most youngsters, before they decide to learn, they ask what facility is available. You know, AC hai kya? AC rooms, projector is there, iPad they give or what? You know, they ask 100 different questions before taking admission. The first question they should ask is, am I eager to study? Hanumanji was so enthusiastic to study, he didn't want any facilities. He just wanted teacher's permission. So Suryadev said, no problem. So Hanuman said, I'll manage. And Hanuman started flying along with Surya and studying, hearing from Suryadev. At a certain point, as Hanuman was flying along with Surya, he realized that I'm not able to see my guru, see my teacher. So he turned around and started flying backwards. You can imagine, the sun is flying this side and Hanumanji is flying backwards because he wanted to see his teacher and study. And throughout the whole teaching, when Surya was teaching him, Hanuman not even one time ever asked his teacher to repeat what he said. He was so attentive, so eager, so focused, able to retain practically every single information that Surya was providing. In 60 sun cycles, Hanumanji learned everything that had to be learned. At the end of learning all that, Hanumanji went to his guru, Suryadev, and he said, my dear teacher, because I have learned so much from you, I am very grateful to you. Please tell me, how can I serve you? The understanding that the Vedic culture gives us is knowledge is never to be taken for free. You should never ever accept knowledge for free. In the traditional times, there was no question of tuition fees in school, you know. There was no question of capitation fees, you know. I mean, today, knowledge has become a sold commodity. In the previous times, people would not sell knowledge, but the student would go to the teacher, want to pay back something out of gratitude. The teacher would never demand. Today, the teacher demands first. First you pay full fees and then we'll take your admission. Suryadev, when he saw Hanumanji coming with so much humility and expressing his gratitude, Surya told Hanuman that if you want to help me, if you want to serve me, I'll give you a very simple thing that you can do. He said, I have a son whose name is Sugriv, and he is quite a dull person, you know. He is not able to handle his own. He is in a big trouble. So please go and assist him, become his minister, become his messenger, become his servant. Now, if you practically see from a realistic point of view, Hanumanji was much superior to Sugriv in every way. Much stronger, much more intelligent, much more resourceful, much more powerful. In every way, he was much, much better than Sugriv. But the only reason he decided to become the minister of Sugriv, assistant to Sugriv, is because his guru told him. That's it. The main qualification in spiritual life to actually do something substantial is whether you're following the instructions of your guru or no. And if the guru instructs you to serve under somebody who's inferior to you, there's no question of thinking again. Most of the times, our false egos are so strong that we first try to analyze whether the guru's instruction itself is good or bad. We tend to think that we are smarter than the guru, you know. In fact, we tend to think that we are smarter than God also, most of the times, you know. God has two qualities. One is omnipotent, and then there is omniscient. God being omnipotent means He's all powerful. God being omniscient means He's all knowledgeable. Most people, when they approach God, they want God to be omnipotent, absolutely. But they don't want God to be omniscient. They say, my dear Lord, you use your power and my knowledge. I will tell you how to plan, you know. I will make a plan and you use your power to fulfill my plan. Unfortunately, when we approach God, that's how we approach them. And that's exactly how we approach the spiritual master also. That's exactly how we approach the guru also. We think that we have a good plan and the guru just should give us instruction, follow this plan. And many times we go to the spiritual master just for an approval. Tick. It's not that we really want to follow what the guru's instruction is, but we want to make our plan guru's instruction, you know. So we kind of put the words in the mouth of the guru. Hanumanji never did that. Hanumanji went to the spiritual master and asked him, how can I serve you? And whatever service he gave, he accepted it gratefully. And for such a long period of time, Hanuman was Sugriva's servant, menial servant. And that too, while serving Sugriva, he remained sensitive to the fact that I am a subordinate to Sugriva. Here is a very interesting story. When Lord Ram came to Kishkinda, and for the first time he met Sugriva. Hanumanji brought Ram to Sugriva. And during that first conversation to Sugriva, Sugriva made the first mistake. As soon as he met Ram, according to him, his understanding was, I lost my wife, Ram also lost his wife. I lost my kingdom, Ram also lost his kingdom. I am sad, Ram also sad. So we are both equals. So when Ram came to him, he shook his hand. He gave his hand, he shook his hand. Hanumanji was thinking, what a stupid thing to do. You don't shake hand to a superior. You fall at the feet of the superior. But Hanumanji didn't speak a word. Because Sugriva is his, master. He just kept quiet. A little later, Sugriva, he wanted to offer a seat to Ram to sit. They were living on a mountain. So Sugriva took out a branch of a tree and put it on the ground and offered that seat to Ram to sit. So Ram sat on the branch of the tree. Sugriva sat on the same level as Ram. And he completely forgot to offer a seat to Lakshman. Ram felt really bad about it. He was hurt. Hanumanji, he immediately realized the mistake of his master. But rather than correcting his master, he did something very interesting. He went and pulled out the branch of a better tree, of a sandalwood tree. And he offered it to Lakshman to sit. And he himself sat on the ground. When Ram saw this, he instantly realized that this person can be a good messenger. This person can be a good servant for me. Spiritual life is about sensitivity. Sensitivity in dealings, sensitivity in one's behavior, sensitivity in one's words, and sensitivity in one's actions. Insensitivity is about mundane material life. Materialistic person doesn't think, just does things. But a spiritualist, before he does anything, before he speaks anything, he thinks 100 times. He thinks whether it is really sensitive and right to do it. Hanumanji, when he met Lord Ram for the first time, something very interesting happened. Just before this episode of Sugriva and Ram meeting, Ram met Hanuman. So when Ram met Hanuman for the first time, Hanuman came disguised as a beggar. He came disguised, as it is explained, as a bhikshuk sannyasi. So now, among sannyasis, there are many categories of sannyasis. There is bhikshuk sannyasi, which means a beggar sannyasi who doesn't know where his next meal is going to come from. Then there is Prabhu-Acharya sannyasi. Prabhu-Acharya sannyasi means somebody who is traveling across the world and he is living, he has like thousands of disciples, he has, matas under him and so many things. So when Ravan came disguised to Sita, he also came as a sannyasi. But he took the role of a Prabhu-Acharya sannyasi. And when Hanumanji came disguised as a sannyasi, he also came as a sannyasi, but he took the role of a bhikshuk sannyasi. Just imagine, even in taking sannyas, one has pride and one has humility. So Hanumanji, when he came in front of Lord Ram, he came disguised as a beggar. And when he came in front of Lord Ram, as soon as he came in front of Lord Ram, Ram asked him, if you are a beggar, what is a diamond necklace doing on your neck? Hanumanji, when he heard that, he literally fainted. He said, you can see it. He said, of course I can see it. Ram asked Lakshman, can't you see it? Lakshman said, no, I can't see any diamond necklace. Hanumanji realized that this is the person whom I have to give my life to. And then Hanumanji started inquiring from Ram and Lakshman who they were, where they have come from and all that. And then Ram Lakshman asked Hanumanji for his introduction, and he spoke about how Sugriva is suffering, how he is assisting Sugriva and all that. So during the whole conversation, Lord Ram was telling Lakshman, just by hearing a few words of Hanumanji, he said, this man, this person, this Hanumanji, he is a great scholar. He said, Hanumanji has to have knowledge of Samaveda. Because he has knowledge of Samaveda, look at the way he is speaking. Every word he is speaking is poetic. Hanumanji has to have knowledge of Yajurveda. Look at the memory that he has, because the way Hanumanji was quoting verses, the way Hanumanji was speaking, he knew exactly which words to use when. That requires a lot of memory. So he said he has to have knowledge of Yajurveda. And like that, Ram started speaking about all the knowledge of different scriptures that Hanumanji had just by hearing Hanumanji speak a few words. Looking at his posture, looking at his speaking style. And then Lord Ram told Lakshman, whoever has this person as his messenger, that person doesn't need anybody else to assist him. And he said, if Hanumanji is in front of a person who is angry, who has a raised sword in his hand, if Hanumanji speaks a few words, that person will drop the sword, just melt. That is the power of Hanumanji's speech. You can imagine how much impact Hanumanji caused in Lord Ram just by his sensitive speech. The power of words is actually very intense. We don't understand it. When we use words wrongly, we're actually creating wrong impression in people's minds. As devotees, we're supposed to really know how to control our tongue. Therefore, Nectar of Instruction, which is supposed to be the first self-help book in the history of humankind, written 500 years before by Rupa Goswami, 11 verses from everything to everything. In 11 verses, Rupa Goswami talks about from how to be a good human being to how to go to attain the perfection of spiritual life, the highest abode. Just 11 verses. I mean, today's self-help books have so many pages and pages and pages, but nothing substantial in them. Here is just 11 verses. And where do the 11 verses begin? It begins with Vacho Vegam. Control the power of speech, essentially. Unfortunately, when we speak all the wrong things. We speak and then think what we spoke. Ideally, we should think and then speak. Hanumanji, his speech caused Lord Ram such an inspiration from within his heart. So, Hanumanji made one mistake when he spoke to Ram for the first time. And that one mistake really caused Hanumanji very, very dearly. In fact, 4 months after this mistake that Hanumanji did, Lord Ram didn't speak to him. You know what the mistake he did? Lord Ram asked him, who are you? And he said, I am the servant of Sugriv. That's it. Ram went behind and sent Hanumanji ahead, sent Lakshman ahead. So he said, two servants deal with each other, I will step back. And Ram did not speak to Hanumanji for 4 months after that. Why? Because when you go in front of God, you don't tell him that you are a servant of somebody else. From that day onwards, whenever Hanumanji is asked introduction, he has a standard introduction. In Lanka, Ravana asked him, who are you? He said, Dasoham Kaushalendrasya. I am a servant of Ram. So from that day onwards, he was very clear, I will never ever make the same mistake again. But that one mistake that he made, 4 months Ram didn't talk to him only. He kept talking to him through Lakshman. So we have to be very careful. If somebody asks us an introduction, who are you? Better be ready, prepared for it. So, just fast forwarding this whole thing to where the monkey army was in search for Mother Sita, and they reached the shores of the southern ocean, and there's a whole big 800-mile ocean to cross. So as the monkey army was discussing among themselves how to cross the 800-mile ocean, the different monkeys started talking about how much they can do. One monkey said, I can jump 10 miles. Another said, I can do 100 miles. Another said, I can do 200 miles. One monkey said, I can do 500 miles. Angad said, I can do 800 miles, but I can't come back. So all of them are completely confused on who's going to do it. And one of them, who was the leader among them, his name was Jambavan. He was not a monkey, he was a bear. And Jambavan, he started looking at all the monkeys. He told them that when I used to be in my younger days, I could, Vamanadev, when he extended his feet, I circumambulated the feet of Vamanadev, practically the entire universe, 21 times. I could move at the speed of the mind. I could have crossed this 800 miles easily, but now I'm old, I can't do it. Interestingly, many times old people They only talk about their past. I did that and I did this and I did. There's no present glory left practically, you know. But old people, rather than using their experience and wisdom to guide somebody, they only keep talking about their past only, you know. So here, Jambavan, he talks about his past. I could have done it, but he also admits that I can't do it now. And then Jambavan uses his experience to find out who can do it. He looks at all the monkeys. He makes like a SWOT analysis of all the monkeys, you know. And then he comes to realization that there's one of them who has not spoken only. That is Hanumanji. He's just sitting in one corner without speaking at all. So Jambavan goes to Hanumanji and he preaches to him, inspires him, reminds him of his own powers. And as Jambavan is reminding Hanuman of his powers, Hanuman becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And he says, I'm going to do it. I can easily do it. From that point onwards in the Ramayana, if you study, the hero of the Ramayana is Hanuman. But after this, how many times do you find the name of Jambavan coming in the Ramayana? Hardly few times, 3 or 4 times. From the world's point of view, Hanuman is a hero. But from Hanuman's point of view, Jambavan is a hero. Because Jambavan is the one who inspired Hanuman to understand his potential. Just try to put this whole scenario in today's corporate world point of view. You know. Just imagine Jambavan as a project leader in a corporate today. You know. And there was a 800-mile project to achieve. You know. And he knew that Hanuman can do it, but Hanuman is his subordinate. Generally, people of today, leaders of today, what they do is that if I can't do it, nobody should be able to do it. Hell with Sita, hell with Ram. We'll sit here and cry. You know. They would have abandoned the project just because they can't get glory for it. But Jambavan, he is what I call as invisible leader. He is somebody who believes in creating achievers. Being an achiever is one thing and creating achievers is another thing. Leadership is always about legacy. There is no point in being a leader if you can't create leaders. In fact, because Jambavan inspired Hanuman to become a leader, become a hero, Hanuman remained eternally indebted to Jambavan. Teachers, gurus, leaders, their role is not to just lead. Their role is also to create more leaders. Their role is also to create achievers. If every teacher starts thinking that I want to be the achiever, who's going to create achievers? And therefore, Jambavan, he inspired Hanuman to be the achiever here. But if you study a little further in Hanuman's life, much later, so in the Ramayana, who's the hero of the Ramayana? Hanuman. But in the Mahabharata, what did Hanuman do? Nothing. The war hero of the Ramayana, what was he doing in the Mahabharata? Sitting on Arjun's flag and doing nothing. But what did Hanuman do at that point of time? Hanuman inspired Bhima to be the hero. This is creating legacy. Jambavan, he had a heroism of his past. He was a hero in his past. But he handed over his heroism. He inspired somebody to become an achiever in the present. Hanuman, he was a hero in the past and he inspired somebody else to become a hero in the present. That's what legacy is about. Creating achievers. So, from the point Hanumanji realized that he can do it, he just got up and he took his jump. So he climbed up this whole mountain which is known as Mahendra Parvat. And he stood on top of the mountain. He was huge in size now. And when he jumped up from the Mahendra Parvat, he squeezed the Mahendra Parvat. You know, his feet just squeezed the mountain. And when the feet squeezed the mountain, mines of gold and silver, they just started flowing out of the mountain. And then Hanumanji jumped. As Hanumanji jumped into the air, there were 5 elements involved in Hanumanji's crossing of the ocean. The entire Sundarakand of Ramayana. There were 5 elements. He himself was the air element, son of Vayu. And as he was flying, he was using the skyways, ether. And he was crossing the ocean, water. And when what did he go to Lanka for? To find Sita, who is Bhumi Devi, earth personified. And what did he do in Lanka? Set fire to Lanka, used Agni, you know. So all the 5 elements were involved in the service that Hanumanji carried out. This jump of Hanumanji is a very interesting jump. Because in this one jump, there are some very, very important lessons that a sadhaka can learn how to practice spiritual life. Sita represents Bhakti, who is situated in Lanka. All of us are like Hanumanji, trying to take this big leap to find Sita, to find Bhakti Devi in our own lives. And as Hanumanji jumped across the ocean was huge, 800-mile ocean. We may have 800 lifetimes to cross that ocean. So, when Hanumanji jumped across the ocean, he came across 4 obstacles in his life, in the path. All of us, in our spiritual practice, as we are taking this big leap to find Mother Sita, we will come across these 4 obstacles. The first obstacle that Hanumanji came across was a golden mountain named Mainak. So as Hanumanji jumped, right from the middle of the ocean, a huge mountain rose up. This is completely gold mountain. And Hanumanji, when he saw this mountain, he was, taken aback. And this Mainak, this personification of the mountain, this God in charge of the mountain, he stood up and he told Hanumanji, "My dear Hanuman, you have a long journey to go. Why don't you take a little rest on me and then you can go continue? There are beautiful lakes in my mountain. There are beautiful fruit-bearing trees in my mountain. It will entertain you fully. Take just a little rest and you can go ahead in life, on your journey." Hanumanji told Mainak, "I'm sorry. Till I reach my destination, I cannot think of resting for one moment." Hanumanji just touched his feet on the mountain and flew away. Mainak represents comforts that come on the path of spirituality. When we decide to venture out on this long journey, there will be many people who will tell you, "Prabhuji, itna intensely nahi karna chahiye bhakti. Don't do so intensely. Take it seriously, but not so seriously, Take breaks in between, I mean, it's okay to go to a movie in between. It's okay, the cricket stadium is close by, Have fun while practicing bhakti, Don't take it so seriously. Where is bhakti going to go? She's going to sit there only in Lanka, She's not going anywhere. So many people can tell you about so many ways to be lax, complacent in your path towards Bhakti Devi. Hanumanji, how did he deal with Mainak? He was respectful towards him. He touched the mountain. He didn't act disrespectfully. He didn't say, "Hey, you're Maya, don't come in my path." He acted very respectfully. He just touched his feet on the mountain and went away. That means he accepted the hospitality of this person, but it's just he didn't stay focused on the goal. All of us, when we are clear that this is the goal we want to achieve, there's nothing that should come in between. Many times, respect. Many times, comforts. Many times, so many facilities come in between our path. Once you start chanting, all your relatives, they start becoming, your friends, and they start becoming very appreciative at a certain point, after a certain point. And they start respecting you. They'll say that you're a guru and this and that. A lot of these things happen. But none of these things should impede our progress and our focus on the goal. As Hanumanji jumped further, he flew further. A second obstacle came on his path. This was a demoness whose name was Surasa. Right from the middle of the ocean, this huge demoness came up and she opened her mouth wide. When Hanumanji saw Surasa with her mouth wide open, he didn't know what to do now. Surasa told Hanumanji that I have a benediction of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma has told me that anyone who passes over this ocean can become your food, can enter your mouth, has to enter your mouth. Hanumanji said, "I don't care for all these benedictions, I'm going." Surasa said, "You can't go." And she opened her mouth bigger than the size of Hanumanji. Hanumanji became bigger than her mouth size. So Surasa, she opened her mouth 10 yojanas wide. Hanumanji became 20 yojanas. Surasa opened her mouth 30 yojanas. Hanumanji became 40. Surasa became 50. Hanumanji became 70. And then Surasa became 100. Hanumanji, he reduced himself to the size of a fly, entered her mouth and came out. And told Surasa, "Your benediction is taken care of. I went into your mouth and came out. Now you allow me to go." Surasa was very impressed with Hanumanji's intelligence. And Surasa actually blessed Hanumanji that may you be victorious. Surasa represents the competitive mentality that comes in when you start practicing spiritual life. Many people practice spiritual life not so much because they have a desire to practice, but they want to show others they are better than others. Many times we end up practicing spiritual life just with the desire to show that I'm better than you. Competition has no end. Surasa was becoming 20 yojanas, Hanumanji was becoming 30, Surasa was becoming 40, Hanumanji was becoming 50. There's no going on and on and on. They could have gone on forever. But Hanumanji realized, my goal is not to prove that I'm better than you. My goal is to please Krishna, please my Supreme Lord. My goal is to find, complete my project, reach my destination. Many times in this whole pursuit of competition, trying to prove I'm better, you lose focus on your goal. There are so many people who come into ISKCON with very good intentions, very clear intentions, Krishna Prem. And then somewhere in between, some skill comes in, somewhere in between some talent comes in, and then you get into this whole mindset of proving that I'm better than you, and I'm more superior devotee just because I can do all this. I'm a better book distributor just because I can distribute so many books. I'm a better singer because I can sing so many tunes. So on and on and on. Where is this whole competitive mentality coming from? How did Hanumanji deal with competition? Hanumanji did not go to prove that I'm better than you. Hanumanji decided, you be best. I'll be small, but let me go ahead. Spiritual life, we don't need to really prove to anyone that I'm better than you. The only thing we need to do is just keep going ahead towards our destination, towards Bhakti Devi, towards our goal. After Surasa, suddenly, as Hanumanji was flying high, Hanumanji got stuck at a certain point. He was just not going ahead, not moving, able to go behind. He was just not moving at all. Just imagine an airplane just stuck on the sky. It's a very scary thing, right? So Hanumanji he didn't know what's happening. Then he looked below and he saw that there was a lady whose name was Simhika. This lady, she was a very, very powerful demoness, and she was a mystic. She had the ability to hold the shadow of a person and pull him down. So Hanumanji's shadow was on the ocean floor, and Simhika was holding Hanumanji's shadow and pulling him down slowly. And she pulled him down all the way and put him into her mouth. Hanumanji went into the mouth of Simhika and tore open her belly and came out. That was the end of Simhika. Hanumanji continued his journey. Simhika represents envy. People who are envious of another, they look for faults of the other person. Especially somebody who is flying very high. People tend to look faults of that person. The shadow represents a person's faults. And envious people are expert in fault finding. They will find fault where none exist. And they'll find a small fault, catch it and pull you down with that fault. How did Hanumanji deal with envy? How did Hanumanji deal with Simhika? The only way to deal with envy is destroy it. You cannot use envy in God's service. You cannot use envy in a positive way. Envy has to be destroyed completely, because envy will only destroy you. After killing Simhika, Hanumanji went further and finally he reached Lanka. And as soon as Hanumanji reached Lanka, he took a small form of a tiny cat and tried to enter into the city. Suddenly, somebody stopped him. There was a demoness whose name was Lankini. She told Hanumanji, "Where is your visa?" She was a visa officer of Lanka, immigration officer. She said, "Unless Ravan permits, you can't enter this country. You cannot enter." Hanumanji, he tried to explain to her, but Lankini was just not ready to listen. So Lankini was so upset, she understood that Hanumanji is not listening. So she pushed Hanumanji. Hanumanji got wild. He gave her a tight slap. And the slap was so hard that Lankini collapsed. And after a few seconds, she got up and she said, "Welcome to Lanka." Sudden change, What is the cause of the change? This one slap of Hanumanji. Lankini represents attachments that one has. Attachment to property, attachment to opinions, attachment to mindsets, attachment to different ways of thinking. When you come to the association of a spiritual master, when you come into the association of gurus, what is the role? Why do we come to satsang? Satsang essentially is a boxing match. When you come into satsang is essentially a boxing match. You should hear at least one thing that seems like a slap to your face. At least one thing that actually punches your attachments. When you come to a satsang program and you have this very goody feeling at the end of the satsang program, that means it's not really an effective satsang. Hanumanji's satsang was very short and effective. One tight slap, and she understood everything she had to know. The whole Bhagavad Gita downloaded in one slap. Essentially, satsang is meant to help us give up our attachments. Lankini, she told Hanumanji, Lord Brahma has told me that the day a monkey comes and slaps me, that day is the end of Lanka. That day marks the beginning of the end of Lanka. So Lankini sent Hanumanji inside. And as Hanumanji was roaming inside Lanka, there are many things that happened. But I'll come to a very interesting point, which is very, very inspiring for a sadhaka, for a devotee. So Hanumanji, he was very despondent in trying to find Sita. At some point, he lost his patience, and then finally he saw Sita in Ashok Vatika. So Hanumanji was excited. He was very happy seeing Sita finally. So generally, when somebody is excited, you don't think so much, right? In excitement, you kind of forget to think. Hanumanji saw, when he saw Sita for the first time, she was in a very sad situation. Ravana had just left from there. So Ravana had, there was like a very heated discussion between Ravana and Sita, and then Sita decided to commit suicide. So she actually was hanging her hair, she was actually going to let herself loose and commit suicide. That's the time Hanumanji spotted Sita. Hanumanji was on top of the tree. Now, if somebody is excited, can you imagine? Out of millions of monkeys, the one person who has found Sita is him. He's been searching for like 30, 40 days now, and there's so much anxiety and so much pressure and so much, of stress that they have gone through, and finally, he is the one who has found Sita. And here is Sita in front of him. The natural propensity of somebody who is excited is to jump. So Hanumanji should have technically jumped in front of Mother Sita. Excited humans are bad. Excited monkeys are even worse. Hanumanji was excited, and he was in the peak of his excitement. But in spite of being excited, Hanumanji was sensitive. Hanumanji realized, if I jump in front of Sita right now, she might think that I am actually Ravan, come in disguise. Because Ravan is trying to harass Sita in different ways. And she might commit suicide faster. So Hanumanji said, I cannot do this. He said, first I have to win the confidence of Sita that I am actually a messenger of Ram. You know what Hanumanji started doing? Hanumanji started chanting the Ramayana. Started narrating the Ramayana in a very beautiful, melodious voice. As Sita was hearing the Ramayana, Hanumanji speaking constantly, she became captivated to the voice of Hanumanji. And she began to look for Hanumanji here and there. But she couldn't find him. Because Hanumanji took a very small form and he was hiding behind a leaf and narrating the Ramayana. Here is the qualification of a speaker of Ram Katha, Krishna Katha. The qualification of a good speaker is that the speaker hides himself and keeps the Lord in the front. Hanumanji hid himself behind the leaf, but he was bringing Ram out very visibly, very powerfully out. Most speakers today, if you look at the Bhagavad Katha speakers and so many speakers, spiritualists, trying to, they keep themselves in front and hide Ram behind them. That's the nature of today's world, projecting themselves more. But Hanumanji was such an amazing Kathakar, such an amazing speaker, that he kept Ram in the front and he kept himself hidden. So Sita, at some point, she became desperate. She wanted to see who this person is, who is speaking. The qualification of a good Kathakar is that when he speaks, people should be enthusiastic to see him. So here Hanumanji, when he realized that Sita wants to see him, he jumped in front of her. And as soon as he jumped in front of her, ultimately he looked very different, right? So Sita just turned her face away a little bit, for like 1 second. Much later, when they reached back to Ayodhya and all that, Sita one day asked Hanumanji that first time when you came in front of me, I turned my face away from you. Did you feel bad about it? And you know what Hanumanji said? Hanumanji told her, my dear mother, what was worth hearing you heard, what was not worth seeing you didn't see. So you didn't do anything wrong. Can you imagine the humility of Hanumanji? And then Mother Sita, they're having this discussion. So Hanumanji tells Mother Sita that I've been sent by Lord Ram to give you this message. But why don't you come with me to Lord Ram? I can take you with me. Sita, she starts smiling. She's bewildered. Look at your size, you're so small and you're telling me you come with me, Then Hanumanji suddenly expands and shows his huge size. Now Sita gets completely bewildered. First he was so small and then suddenly he becomes so big. Sita asks him a question. She asks him, what is your original size? Are you small? Are you big? What is your exact size? And Hanumanji gives a very interesting answer. Hanumanji tells Mother Sita, my dear mother, I am originally small. My original size is that I am very small. But for the seva of Ram, for the service of Ram, I can take any size. This is humility. Hanumanji is not telling, I am small, I will remain small only. Many times, devotees have a wrong understanding of what humility is. Many times, devotees feel humility means, I am useless. I am useless, I can't do anything, I am tuchcha, I am, lower than a worm in stool and all that, But, when it actually comes to doing something tangible for the service of the Lord, then also we say, Prabhuji, I can't do it. Why? I am useless. I am humble. It's all false humility. Look at Hanumanji, what he is trying to say. He is saying, for the sake of Ram's service, I can take any size. But internally, he believed very strongly that he was originally small. The understanding of humility is that it's not that a devotee can't take up big roles. It's not that the devotee doesn't want to take up big positions. But the devotee understands that these roles and these positions are only for the sake of the Lord, for service of the Lord. As far as I am concerned, I am useless. I am insignificant and small. But if Ram wants to do something big through me, I have no problem in handing over myself to the Lord and let the Lord do anything big with me. And that was Hanumanji's mood. So Hanumanji, when he was talking to Mother Sita, so he introduced himself to Sita. And Sita asked him, who are you? And he explained that how he is a messenger of Lord Ram. And he explained how in Ram's army, in the monkey army, he said, there is no one smaller than me. Everyone that is there in the army is either equal to me or bigger than me. Can you imagine Hanuman saying this? Hanuman was the most powerful person in the army. But he didn't let down the others by saying that, I am the biggest. Millions of monkeys are there, but nobody could do it. I did it, He didn't say all that. He said, everyone is either equal to me or better than me. And when Hanumanji said that, does it actually show false humility? No. Hanumanji quantified it also. He said, when you see an arrow moving at a full speed, do you give credit to the arrow? No. You give credit to the one who shot the arrow. The arm of the person who shot the arrow is strong. Therefore, the arrow moves at a great speed. Hanumanji said, I am the messenger of Lord Ram. Ram has sent me here. And it is his power that has brought me so far. It's not my greatness. It's not my glory. So like that, Hanumanji was really, showing how really he had such deep faith in Lord Ram's greatness. Hanumanji, when he was telling all this, he was telling Mother Sita, why don't you come with me? I'll take you to Lord Ram immediately. Mother Sita said, no, I can't come with you. Hanumanji said, why? She said, I get scared of heights. Hanumanji started laughing. He said, my dear mother, you came with Ravan on Pushpak Viman. That time you didn't get scared, Sita said, no. Actually, when you leave from here, the demons will attack. And you will get so absorbed in the fight that you will forget me and I'll fall into the ocean. Hanumanji said, my dear mother, you are Bhumi Sutta. This ocean is a part of the earth. You are the mother of the earth. So you don't have to get scared of ocean. Then Mother Sita said, the real reason is that I can't touch you because you are Parapurush. Hanumanji said, my dear mother, you are a mother, I am a son. The mother has no problem in touching a son. Then Mother Sita said, I'll tell you the real reason why I'm not coming with you. This shows Sita's greatness. Sita tells Hanumanji that when the history of Lord Ram will be written, when history will be written in the future, what will the historians write? Ravan, a demon, kidnapped Sita and took her away from Ram. And a monkey got Sita back to Ram. What did Ram do? So Sita said, I want the glory of being saved to go to Ram. I don't mind suffering for some more time, but let Ram get the glory. So then, after this whole episode of Sita's conversation with Hanumanji, Sita gave a warning to Hanumanji actually. She told Hanumanji that within 1 month, within 30 days, if Ram doesn't come back to save me, then I'll commit suicide. So Hanumanji kind of suddenly got a warning, and then the whole Ramayana is like a climax, build up towards that. How the whole, many people think that Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these are very slow moving books. But if you actually study it properly, it is a very intense book. When Hanumanji was given this warning of 30 days, I'll just quickly speak how these 30 days passed. Hanumanji, by the time he jumped back from this side of the ocean to where the monkey army was, almost like 1.5 days passed. And then they took another 1.5 days to reach Kishkinda, the whole monkey army southern tip to Kishkinda. So it took them 3 days. So when they reached Lord Ram and they told this whole thing, Lord Ram told the whole army to move ahead. The entire army from Kishkinda to come to south, it took them 12 days. So 15 days were over. And when they reached the shore of the Indian Ocean, Lord Ram prayed for 3 days for the ocean god to appear. And the ocean god is not appearing only. And after 3 days, Ram got angry and he took out his bow and arrow and he was going to, destroy the ocean. That time the ocean god appeared. And then he gave the permission to build the bridge. The building of the bridge took 5 days. So how many days so far? 15 plus 3, 18, 18 plus 5, 23 days. And then after the bridge was built in 5 days, 800 mile long, 80 mile wide bridge in 5 days. Some of our engineers in the construction department and the government should really feel ashamed. 5 days flat, they built the entire bridge. I had gone to South Africa last year and there was one bridge being constructed. After 1 year I returned, still it was being constructed only. So 5 days they constructed this whole bridge. And when they crossed the bridge and reached the other side of the ocean, the war lasted for 7 days. Exactly on the 7th day, Ram killed Ravan. And Sita was saved because that was the last day. And the day Sita was saved, that was the last day of the 14 years of their exile. And Bharat had taken a vow that if on the next day of the 14th year, if Ram doesn't come back, he'll commit suicide. Now Sita was saved, and then now they had to go back. So then Ram, he requested Vibhishan to give the Pushpak Viman because of that. They can take a flight back. So as they were going back by Pushpak Viman, Mother Sita was seeing all these different sights. Ram was showing her all the things that happened, the bridge and all that. And finally they reached Kishkinda. Mother Sita started telling Lord Ram, I will not go to Ayodhya without the monkey women. Lord Ram said, my dear Sita, Bharat is going to die. Sita said, nothing doing. I want the monkey women to come. That's why we won't go. Lord Ram said, for human women to dress up, it takes quite some time. If monkey women have to get dressed up, God knows how long it will take. So he said, no. No going ahead without the monkey women. And then the whole flight stopped at Kishkinda and all the monkey women also got into the flight and the flight took off. And they reached the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni. So Lord Ram had given a promise to Bharadwaj Muni that before going to Ayodhya, he will come to his abode. And he got off and he told Hanumanji, you go and tell Bharat that I am coming. And by the time Hanumanji reached, Bharat had already lit up a fire and he was going to jump into it. And Hanumanji again sat on top of the branch and he narrated Ramayana. And he narrated all the story of Ramayana till the point where Ram reached Bharadwaj Muni's ashram. And that's when Bharat realized that Ram is coming. So Ramayana has saved many lives. In the Ramayana itself, and why not in our lives? So whenever we go through despondency, suicidal tendencies come up, narrate the Ramayana. Probably some hope will come into your lives. So anyways, coming back to where we left, Hanumanji was with Mother Sita, and Hanumanji told Mother Sita, can I eat some fruits? Because he was hungry. So Sita said, okay, go and eat any fruits. So Hanumanji was sitting on different trees and eating fruits. And as Hanumanji was eating fruits, all the Rakshasi women, they were troubling Sita. They saw this monkey roaming around in Lanka. So in Lanka at that point of time, there were no monkeys existing. So when they saw a monkey, they all got excited because they knew something is going to go wrong. And interestingly, in Sanskrit, there are different words to describe monkey. One of the Sanskrit words to call a monkey is Hare. So all the Rakshasis, they started chanting, Hare, Hare, Hare. So Hanumanji became excited. These people are taking Harinam over here, In Lanka, they're chanting Harinam. So Hanuman was jumping from one branch to another. And all the Rakshasis, they were dancing and shouting out Harinam basically. So Hanumanji finally, just going a little forward, he was burning the whole Lanka, and as Hanumanji was burning the whole of Lanka, he realized that something is going wrong. And he saw that it started raining. He just burnt the whole city and started raining. He got wild on Indra, the demigod in charge of rain. He said, whose side are you on? Are you on Ravan's side or Ram's side? And he was chastising Indra like anything. At that time, Indra told Hanumanji, my dear Hanumanji, don't worry. Look carefully. It is not raining water, it is raining petrol. The demigods were assisting Hanumanji in burning Lanka more. So, Hanumanji was excited about this whole venture of Lanka, and he took the message of Mother Sita back to Lord Ram. And when Hanumanji reached Lord Ram, he gave the message of Mother Sita, and then finally he touched Lord Ram's feet. And when Hanumanji touched Lord Ram's feet, Lord Ram caught the shoulders of Hanumanji. He just touched the shoulders of Hanumanji. Hanumanji just remained in that position. He told Lord Ram, my dear Lord, I want to remain in this position forever. As long as my feet are touching you, your hands will be on my shoulder. The moment I leave your feet, you leave your hands. So he said, I want to remain in this position forever. Just see it. It's an amazing thought if you see it from one point of view. That means as long as Ram's hands are touching your shoulders, there is hope that Ram is in charge of your life. And the moment you leave Ram's feet and you get up, Ram will leave your shoulders. You are on your own. So Hanumanji had that one thought in his mind that I want to just remain in this position forever. So Lord Ram picked up Hanumanji and embraced him. So when Ram embraced Hanumanji, he was so touched by the embrace of Lord Ram. Ram said, I have nothing else to give you except this embrace. Hanumanji that day, he took a vow. The vow that he took was, because Lord Ram has touched this body has become purified. And I don't want to give up this body at all. So that day he took up the vow of never dying. Can you imagine? So the perverted reflection of that is there in today's material world. In Bombay, there was a very famous rock star that had come to perform, And this man, during the whole performance, he kissed one girl on her cheeks. This girl, for 7 days, she didn't have bath. Kissed, The perverted reflection of the original consciousness of Hanumanji. So, there are many exciting stories about Hanumanji which are not really in the synchrony of this thing, but I'll just share some of these really beautiful and sweet stories of Hanumanji. So when the bridge was being built across the ocean, so all these monkeys were throwing different stones, with writing Ram's name and chanting Ram's name basically, and the stones were floating. So Lord Ram got bewildered. He said, what is the technology? I don't know what this technology is. So he said, let me also go and try. So he went to one corner where nobody was watching him. He took one stone, he chanted his own name and threw it. The stone drowned. So Ram couldn't believe it. These people are able to do it, why can't I? So he took another stone and he took his name and threw it. Again the stone drowned. So behind, Hanumanji was laughing at him. So Ram was very embarrassed. So Ram asked Hanumanji, why am I not able to succeed? All of you are doing it so easily. Hanumanji gave a very interesting answer. Hanumanji told Lord Ram, my dear Lord, when we take your names and throw these stones float out of great hope. But when you have thrown a stone, what hope is there for the stone except to drown and die? So Ram said, he gave up the project of trying to assist in the bridge. He went into his, in his own place. So Hanumanji, and we know this story of the Hanumanji and the squirrel. The squirrels are trying to assist in the building of the bridge, and Hanumanji was shooing them away. So Ram saw this. Ram went to Hanumanji and asked him, why are we building this bridge? Hanumanji said, to kill Ravan. Ram said, I am sitting in his heart as Paramatma, I can switch off his heart. He'll die immediately, heart attack. So then Ram said, why are we building the bridge? Hanumanji said, we are building the bridge so that the whole monkey army can cross the ocean. Ram said, if I want, I can dry up the ocean in 1 second. So Hanumanji got confused. He asked Ram, my dear Ram, why are we building the bridge? At some point you start doubting the purpose, right? So Ram said, the reason we are building the bridge is to engage you. And Ram said, just like you need engagement, the squirrel also needs engagement. And that's when Hanumanji understood the purpose of building the bridge. So many times there are some services that we do in the Hare Krishna movement. We tend to think, why are we doing it? The answer is same. We are not doing it to achieve anything. We are doing it to engage you. So when Hanumanji was in Lanka, when he came back to Ayodhya, there are some very interesting stories that happened in Ayodhya. So Hanumanji was very inquisitive to know one thing. He wanted to know, how does Mother Sita please Lord Ram so much? What is it that she does that makes Ram so happy with her? So Hanumanji decided that I am going to do a survey. I am going to follow Sita day and night to find out what exactly she does. There must be some secret tip that I am not able to understand. So Hanumanji was following Sita the whole day, from morning to evening. Sita was highly confused. This monkey following me around all over. And Sita was in her bedroom, and Hanumanji was standing on the door and watching her. And Sita was feeling really weird. And Sita was decorating herself, because Lord Ram is going to come back, and she was decorating herself. Hanumanji is watching her like that. Finally, Sita took a small sindoor and put it on her forehead. And as soon as Sita put that sindoor on her forehead, Hanumanji asked, what is that? What are you doing? Now, Sita was thinking, how do you explain to a monkey, and to a brahmachari monkey, what this is, very difficult to explain everything to brahmacharis, right? So, Sita, she told it in a very simple way. She said, this red dot pleases Lord Ram like anything. Hanumanji said, that's it. I got it. I got the secret, Hanumanji ran away from her bedroom. And Sita was wondering what happened exactly. Hanumanji ran into the market. He went to a place where, they were dyeing clothes. And there was a huge bucket of red dye. He jumped into it straight, And when he came out of the red dye bucket, it was fully red from top to bottom, And everyone around started laughing at him, So when he saw people on the streets of Ayodhya laughing at him, he was even more convinced that, I have the power to make people happy now, So he walked all the way till the court of Ayodhya, where Lord Ram was having a serious discussion, very intense discussion going on. And suddenly, everybody in the court started laughing. Lord Ram didn't understand what exactly is happening. That finally he saw Hanuman entering, fully red from top to bottom. Ram started rolling on the ground and laughing like anything, Hanumanji was so happy. He said, I have achieved the goal of my life. I made Ram happy. Then Ram finally, after laughing a lot, he asked him, why did you do this to yourself? Hanumanji spoke something very interesting. Hanumanji told Lord Ram, my dear Lord, Mother Sita told me that a little red sindoor on her forehead makes you so happy. I was thinking, if little bit makes you so happy, what if I am fully decorated in red? How happy you will be. Hanumanji is a combination of innocence and intelligence. Those who are intelligent seldom are innocent. Small children have innocence in their heart, and that innocence is actually what makes them attractive. But as somebody becomes more and more intelligent, and as somebody becomes more and more talented, what they lose is their innocence. Unfortunately, people who are intelligent are sometimes the most non-innocent people in the world. And here is Hanumanji, who highly intelligent, highly powerful, highly accomplished, but he still managed to retain his innocence. And therefore, if you really want to learn something from Hanumanji, is this. It is very difficult to simultaneously be intelligent and innocent. What we definitely need in our lives to actually please the Lord is a little bit of that innocence, childlike nature. And Hanumanji really pleased Lord Ram like anything in this particular episode. One time when Hanumanji was, the part of the whole Ayodhya scene, when Hanumanji came back to Ayodhya, all the people of Ayodhya, they were, the most important people, Sita, Lakshman, Bharat and all of them, they were very upset with Hanumanji. The reason they were upset with Hanumanji was because they were thinking, Hanumanji does everything. He doesn't allow us to do anything. They decided that we are going to take Hanumanji to task. Why should he do everything? Why not us? The next day they had a conference. Everyone is invited except Hanumanji. And in that conference they made a list of all the services to Lord Ram from early morning to late night. Every service was included in that list. And against the service they were allotting who will do the service. They allotted service to everybody except Hanumanji. And they told Mother Sita, you go and get this this service list signed by Lord Ram. Only when Lord Ram signs it, then Hanumanji will accept it as authentic. Mother Sita went to Lord Ram in the night and she asked him, my dear Lord, can you put a sign over here? Lord Ram understood immediately what they are up to, and he saw the whole list and he realized. But Lord Ram had great confidence in Hanumanji. He signed it immediately, smiling. So the next day, all the services were doing. Wherever Hanumanji would go, they would say, this is not your service, this is my service, go from here. So practically, they were not allowing Hanumanji to do anything. So Hanumanji was totally bewildered. He went to Mother Sita and he said, what's going on over here? Sita showed him the list. She said, Lord Ram has passed a new declaration. This is the list and your name is there, you'll get some seva. Hanumanji went through the old list. His name was not there only. So Hanumanji told Mother Sita, if there's any service that is not on the list, can I take it? Sita was so confident that she said, no problem, take it. Hanumanji said, there is one service that is not there. And what is that service? The service of, doing chitki, when Lord Ram yawns. A very unique service. Nobody thought of it till now. When you want to serve, you'll find a way to serve. Hanumanji, when he, she said, no problem. So Hanumanji went and stood next to Lord Ram in his court. So everybody was wondering, what is he doing over there? So Hanumanji said, see, I have a very important service. Ram can yawn anytime, I have to be present all the time. So all day he was standing over there, right next to Lord Ram. And people are getting so irritated, seeing. They're trying to get rid of him, and he's somehow just not able to. And in the night, when Lord Ram came into the bedroom of Mother Sita, Hanumanji followed there also. Sita said, what are you doing here? Hanumanji says, very important service. If Ram yawns in the middle of the night also I have to do chitki. She stood the whole night over there. And that's when Sita and all of them realized that it's very difficult to get rid of Hanumanji. Better to give him some tangible seva. Hanumanji represents the desire to serve. when somebody has a desire to serve, what you do is not important. Whether you get to do something is important. In the process of trying to serve, in the process of trying to show that we are better than somebody else, in the process of trying to show that I'm getting a more important service than somebody else, we forget that what is important is to serve. What is not important is how you serve. What is important is whether you get to serve. Hanumanji represents that attitude of service, which many times we miss out. Because when we get into the complications of the organization, when we get into the complications of the process of seniority and juniority and so many complications, we just forget that the essence of all services is to serve. It doesn't matter what service you do. It doesn't matter how you get to serve, as long as you get to serve. So, there's a very interesting story that happened during the monkey, when the monkey army came to Ayodhya for the first time, during the coronation of Lord Ram. So the coronation ceremony was a massive ceremony in Ayodhya, and all the monkeys, they knew that Ayodhya is a highly respectable city. And they also knew that if all of us are invited to Ayodhya, that means we are all invited as, people of Lord Ram. I mean, they are, messengers or whatever, friends of Lord Ram. That means we are supposed to behave with dignity in Ayodhya. But the problem is, they had no idea what it means. They had no idea what it means to behave with dignity because they were monkeys. And they realized there's only one person amongst them who knew the human culture, how to behave, dining etiquettes, sitting etiquettes, walking etiquettes. So all of them decided, let us all follow Hanumanji. Whatever Hanumanji says, we will do. Monkeys have always tried to follow humans for quite some time. When the monkey army, they started associating with Lord Ram, at some point they decided they will also follow Ekadasi Vrata. Humans can do it, we also can do it. So all the monkeys, they together decided, tomorrow we will fast. Nothing, no eating at all. So they started Ekadasi and they didn't eat for a few hours. After a few hours, one monkey got a brilliant idea. He said, what if by tomorrow morning we become so weak that we can't climb trees also? We will die. So another monkey suggested, why don't we sit on top of trees? There's no problem. So all of them sat on top of the trees. Another monkey had a brilliant idea. He said, what if tomorrow we don't have the strength to pluck fruits also? Another monkey said, let's just pluck the fruits and keep it in our hand. We won't eat. So all of them plucked the fruits and kept it in their hand. Another monkey said, what if tomorrow we don't have the strength to bite also? So all of them, one monkey said, let's bite and we will not swallow it. That was the end of the Ekadasi. So after that story, the monkeys have been really careful of following human etiquettes. So this time they said that the only person who knows human etiquettes is Hanumanji. We will all do exactly what Hanumanji does. So all of them the next day, they were invited for a feast. A massive feast in Ayodhya. And the whole monkey army is walking. Hanumanji is walking straight. All the monkeys are walking straight. In the same orderly fashion. And Hanumanji went and occupied a seat. Closed eyes, sitting in a erect back posture. All the monkeys, thousands of monkeys sitting in erect posture. Hanumanji, so then the people started serving the different items. The monkeys are getting really tempted to eat. But Hanumanji is not eating at all because he knew the human etiquette means let everything get served and then we'll start eating. So Hanumanji was waiting, all the monkeys were waiting. And they were desperately praying, please Hanumanji start eating. Hanumanji is just not eating. Finally the last item was served. This was green peas. And this green peas served to all the plates, and finally last plate was Hanumanji's plate. They served green peas on his plate. But something funny happened. One piece from that sabji, it jumped out of his plate and started rolling. Hanumanji got really angry on that green pea. How dare that fellow jump out of my plate? Hanumanji jumped to catch that green pea and all the monkeys jumped out. They thought it is a part of human etiquette. Some very interesting stories of Hanumanji's life. I'll end with two very interesting stories. And these two stories are really amazing. Both of them involve Narad Muni. The first story is when Hanumanji wanted to learn music from Narad Muni. So Narad Muni was playing this veena and moving around and singing, and Hanumanji was very inspired. He told Narad Muni, "Can you teach me music?" Narad Muni said, "No problem." And Narad Muni actually taught him singing, taught him playing musical instruments. Hanumanji became expert. At a certain point, Narad Muni wanted to test his disciple, find out exactly how he... So Narad Muni told Hanumanji, "Why don't you sing for me? I want to test you." And Hanumanji started singing. And Hanumanji was singing so beautifully that practically all the stones in that area started melting. Hearing Hanumanji singing, it was so intense. And then Narad Muni was so absorbed in Hanumanji singing that the veena that he was holding in his hand just fell off. And when the veena fell off from Narad Muni's hand, the veena fell off on a rock. And the rock had melted, it had become liquid. And then finally Hanumanji stopped singing, the rock froze, it became hard again. And the veena got stuck in it. So when Narad Muni got back to his external senses, he saw that Hanumanji stopped singing. And he was so happy, so pleased with Hanumanji. And then he realized his veena has fallen down. He went to pick up his veena, the veena was stuck. He pulled it, just not budging. Absolutely stuck. So Narad Muni told Hanumanji, "Hanumanji, sing again, I want to remove my veena." Hanumanji said, "I will not sing." Narad Muni said, "My veena is stuck over here, sing again." Hanumanji said, "No." He started running, And Narad Muni started chasing Hanumanji to catch him, to bring him back to sing. Hanumanji started running all over Kishkinda. He made Narad Muni run like mad. He ran in every corner, every inch of Kishkinda, and finally came back and sat in the same place where he originally began. And then he sang and he released the veena. Narad Muni asked him, "Why did you make me run so much?" Hanumanji told him, "My dear spiritual master, I wanted the dust from your lotus feet to spread all over the Kishkinda area. There was only one way I could do it, So Hanumanji tricked Narad Muni to run all over the place. He has his own ways of getting mercy, right? And then this final, very beautiful story of Hanumanji and Narad Muni. One time, Narad Muni came to Hanumanji and he asked him a question. He said, "My dear Hanuman, there are so many devotees of the Lord. Who do you think is the topmost devotee of the Lord?" Hanumanji said, "Why do we need to think? Why don't you go and ask Lord Ram to show you his diary?" Narad Muni was bewildered. First time in his life he heard of Lord Ram's diary, So Narad Muni went to Lord Ram and he asked him, "My dear Lord, do you have a diary with names of devotees?" And Ram just pointed out, he said, "It's lying over there, go and see it." There was a huge diary. And Narad Muni opened the diary. The first name was Narada. So he became really happy, and he started flipping the whole diary to see if Hanumanji's name is there. After reading the whole diary, Hanumanji's name was not there only. So Narad Muni went to Hanumanji and he said, "My dear Hanuman, I have a bad news for you. My name happened to be in the first in the list, but unfortunately your name was not there only. How is it you're such a great devotee? How is your name not there?" Hanumanji said, "Did you see the small diary?" Now Narad Muni was totally bewildered. He said, "What is this small diary?" Hanumanji said, "Go and ask Lord Ram." So Narad Muni went to Lord Ram and he said, "My dear Lord Ram, do you have a small diary also?" So Ram, he removed the small diary from really next to his heart and gave it to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni saw the small diary, he opened it. First name, Hanuman. And in that diary, his name was not there only. So Narad Muni was highly confused. He asked Lord Ram, "What's happening? There's a big diary and a small diary. Some names are there in this diary, some names are not there in this diary. What's happening over here?" And Lord Ram explained. Lord Ram explained that the big diary contains the names of all those devotees who remember me constantly. And the small diary contains the names of all those devotees whom I remember constantly. That's the greatness of Hanuman. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.